Okay, ready? Watch this to the end if you want to save thousands of dollars and maximize your home sale. Real estate offices train agents to rehearse scripts in a role play over and over again until they got it down. And they're going to get your listing almost every time in a listing presentation. But I refuse to use rehearsed acting scripts that agents are trained to sell you with. I find them insulting to a person's intelligence. And when I hear salespeople use rehearsed scripts and rehearsed responses to your objectives, it makes me cringe. It's an artificial intelligence, but it works to get the listings almost every time. So they do get more listings than me. So anyway, the empty can makes the most noise, they say. But by the time you learn that the can is empty, it's too late and you already signed their agreement. So experience means you can speak honestly without the memorized sales scripts or ridiculous fake graphs and charts. My experience and skills are well-rounded in all facets of real estate: sales, home staging, mortgage finance, investment strategies, marketing, area knowledge, just to name a few. So I help in areas where other agents may fall short. After the agent gets your listing and they congratulate themselves on what a great acting performance they did, do they have an acting script when it comes time to negotiate the price and terms of your sale? The seller's not going to be present in the conversations when the two agents get together and negotiate price and terms for their clients. So you can only hope that they can negotiate on your behalf without an acting script. Sales price negotiation skills can make a big difference in the amount of cash in your hands after the closing. Real estate school taught me very little about the real world out there. The class materials were so old and obsolete and mainly about ancient laws that never changed over the times. It was actually the 20 years of hands-on experience as a broker associate, property investor, negotiator, mortgage franchise owner, and marketing specialist that made my skills so valuable. Now, new agents, they have to memorize scripts so that they can fake it until they make it. Older agents still use those scripts though because they want to slam dunk a listing sales presentation. But I'm a little different there because I feel like if I can't win a listing the honest way, I don't want that listing. Before you sign any listing agreement, establish the fact of whether or not they're going to use professional photography on your home. Buyers perceive homes with professional photography to be worth on average 12% more than the actual price, according to the Wall Street Journal. Here's an example of how unprofessional photography looks inferior to professional photography. This townhouse sat on the market for 303 days unsold with amateur photography. Then a new agent came in, had professional photos done, and the unit sold right away. If an agent is putting a lockbox on your home, demand a super lockbox for your own home security. Before I go, I want to review 9 key points that for sale by owners need to know. So number 1 is 92% of home buyers use realtors because obviously buyers don't pay a commission, so why not use the benefits, right? But FSBO owners lose out on this 92% of showings because their agents don't show FSBOs. So that's a loss. Anyway, let's go to number 2. Realtors don't get paid unless we bring you the offer that you're perfectly happy to accept. So we basically come risk-free. Let's go to number 3. Professional photography, marketing, open houses, all that stuff comes out of your realtor's pocket, not your own. So there's another risk-free venture. All right, let's go to number 4. About 96% of all your showings are going to be a waste of your time and energy. And the reason is realtors separate the lookers from the buyers by pre-screening them before the showing. So only about 4% of the people that go to your FSBO showings are going to be ready, willing, or qualified to actually buy. Let's go to number 5. Bargain hunters look for sale by owners because they feel they're entitled to a huge discount off your asking price since you don't have any commission to pay. So FSBO owners don't really save money when this happens. This is why 8 out of 10 FSBO owners reject being disrespected and they end up listing with an agent. Next one is unlicensed FSBO owners don't have errors and omissions insurance, and they can be legally liable in lawsuits for not disclosing certain things before the sale that the law requires by use of standard forms that agents have signed to protect their sellers from liability. And, by the time the deal gets to your attorney, it's too late to disclose certain things because, you're already under contract. So anyway, I have had issues before. I was in a few lawsuits, so I definitely, recommend using an agent to protect yourself. I'll tell you about it another day. But I was in 2 lawsuits because of things that went wrong. Anyway, next one's even more important. Realtors have learned the hard way to ask for ID and run basic background checks online to make sure people requesting a showing are actually who they say they are. Now, I personally had 2 imposter showings. One was a guy who claimed to be the nephew of a celebrity who recently passed away. He came into money and he sounded so convincing on the phone. We talked for hours. And when I went to schedule the showing, I said the guard at the gate is going to ask for your ID. Now, this was a showing of a Yankee pitcher's home, like a $19 million home. And then I didn't hear from him, and it made me suspicious, so I ran a background check on him. Turned out he wasn't who he said he was at all. In fact, he had a very long criminal record of extortion and harassment and all kinds of things. At least 9 things showed up. And then I had a woman who claimed to be interested in a $12 million home. And when I Googled her name, her mugshot came up. And when I ran her background, it turned out she lived in a house that wasn't even worth $200,000, and she was a renter there. So FSBO owners risk personal safety and home security by having random people walking through their home with them. So if you're a FSBO seller, please run a background check before you let people walk through your home with you. Number 8, FSBOs don't get maximum marketing exposure that leads to bidding wars and the highest and best offers. Let's go to the last one, number 9. Realtors get buyers to sign the contract in a timely manner before buyer's remorse kicks in. You know what that is, that kick in the gut after you make a major decision and it kind of feels like, oh my God, did I make the right decision? It feels like like you can mistake a good deal and cancel it because of that buyer's remorse that kicks in, and then later you regret it. But that's the reason it's really important to get that contract signed right away and get things underway, because everyone gets buyer's remorse. And when it kicks in, you might cancel a good deal. So realtors know that timing is important, getting the deal signed, where FSBO owners, they don't understand that you got to get things rolling right away. And the buyer is perfectly happy once the buyer's remorse goes away, because it does subside over time. One more thing. If your for sale by owner is on Zillow, notice how they hide the owner's contact information mushed in with the small text, but then they have the contact agent button up front and center in 3 places so that people will click contact agent instead of call the seller. Because if the buyer were to call you directly as a seller, the Z Monster makes no money. When they click the contact agent button, Zillow sells the lead to one of their advertising agents. Looks like a bait and switch to FSBO owners, right? Other agents may have to work harder to generate showings of a home because they don't have local buyers calling them. My social media presence on YouTube and other channels are constantly generating new buyers. I also maintain relationships with out-of-state agents up north to make sure they call me first when their clients are moving to Florida. So our company is large with a few thousand agents, but I'm not going to lie to you like most most agents say, well, we have a few thousand agents and we prioritize our listings over other companies' listings to our buyers. But the truth is, agents show buyers what is a good match for what they're looking for, regardless of which company listed it. So don't fall for that trick. It's just wrong. So let's understand how buyers evaluate homes. The marketing that I do to promote a home has only one purpose: to increase awareness and bring in-person showings. So once a buyer reaches the front door, it's up to the owner to stage the home in a way that they think would be appealing to everyone. This home must now compete with other homes in two areas: features and price. If the home has more features that appeal to buyers, or is priced lower than comparable homes, this home will stand out as the better value. If the home lacks the features that potential buyers desire, the only option is to compete on price. To be effective, the home should stand out as one of the top 2 or 3 best values in that immediate marketplace. Pricing your home accurately is the most effective way to ensure a successful sale, because no amount of marketing can sell an overpriced home. But many sellers are tempted to list their home with the agent that quotes the highest price they believe they can get for the home, without realizing that the agent is already knowing that they're not going to be able to get that price, but they're trying to get the listing. So please keep in mind that the agent doesn't set the price. The seller doesn't even set the price. It's the market that will set the price or value for your home. So there's factors that influence market value: supply and demand, number one, economic conditions, asking and selling prices of competing homes, and the buyer's actual perception of your home. So the factors that have little or no influence on market value are what you paid for the home, or what your expected net proceeds are, or the amount you spent on home improvements. You only get one debut. Approximately 80% of all your showings are going to be during the first 2 months, so it's important to be in a fair market price range right from the start. After 60 days on the MLS, home shoppers wonder, why is this home still available? There must be something wrong with it. And then they assume that there's flexibility in the price because it didn't sell. This is why you have to have it done right from the start correctly. You don't want to be that stale listing. So I'll estimate your home value, and I'll prepare a comparative market analysis, which compares your home in detail with current listings and recent sales in your neighborhood. And this helps ensure that your price is accurate right from the start. So here's what I do on a new listing. First, I like to learn from the homeowner whatever I can by asking a lot of questions, and then I do a market analysis so I can estimate the value, and I answer any questions that come about. I assist with personalized home staging concepts if desired. I craft marketing strategies to get the maximum exposure and the highest and best offers coming in. I announce your home and offer a home tour to all real estate agents to preview the home for their clients. I advertise and present the home to buyers with a public open house if desired. I feature your home on hundreds of websites using high technology, and I create individual website just for your home. So I also schedule showings of other agents, and then I follow up by phone with each agent to get constructive feedback. Now, honest feedback is typically given to agents freely, but they rarely ever tell the homeowner what they think. They don't want to upset the homeowner if there was anything negative that they saw. So through me, I can get the real deal. So anyway, I share my unique target marketing strategies, which opens doors to a whole new set of buyers if the home is not under contract within 30 days. So I can target buyers that wouldn't have qualified with a new strategy to help them qualify because I have some mortgage background experience. Anyway, I also verify If the buyer is qualified for a mortgage, make sure that pre-qualification letter is legitimate, or make sure they have cash on hand. So when I present written offers to the seller in full detail, I explain the pros and cons of each offer: offer price, type of financing, number of inspection days the buyers want, their proposed closing date, what possessions that they want to be included in the sale, things like that. Then I help negotiate the price and terms on offers on the seller's behalf using skills that help me to be sure that it's actually the buyer's highest and best offer. You know, some people just throw sand to see if the seller will blink with a low offer. And it's a way that they test the seller's weaknesses to see what the seller's response is. So, you know, we have ways of getting to their actual offer. So anyway, I write up any contracts or addendums required after negotiations and coordinate appointments for buyers, inspectors, and appraiser, and open up the home for them to save the seller time, and coordinate with attorneys, title agents, and the buyer's mortgage company for a smooth closing. And I can be there for support in case it's an emotional experience selling a home. And I'm also a liaison between the seller and the potential buyer. So why is the liaison task important? Well, some buyers want to meet up with the homeowner face to face and try and read them and sum up their weaknesses or vulnerabilities before placing an offer. However, since kindness can sometimes be mistaken for weakness, this meeting is not recommended until after all negotiations are final. Sometimes it's better if sellers don't attend the showings because some of them leak out too much information. I was showing my buyer a home once and the seller was there, and the seller goes, "Yeah, I have to sell this home because my daughter's college tuition is overdue." Now, this let my buyer know of her urgency, and the buyer offered a much lower price than we had initially planned on offering. Because the seller sounded so desperate, she figured she could get away with it. So the seller's agent should have advised her better, because that statement cost her thousands in her sale price. So clients often benefit from my awareness of mortgages and special financing opportunities, as well as tips to quickly boost credit ratings to possibly qualify for better interest rates or credit terms, because I have also owned and managed a branch of a prominent mortgage company in the past. So knowing different ways to qualify can save some deals from falling apart. Working closely with investors, appraisers, contractors, builders, and inspectors for so many years has given me valuable insight on smarter buying and selling, in addition to sharpening my negotiation skills. I think it's important to never disclose your client's personal information to anyone unless they ask you to. And another thing I do is I do not have any fake purchased or traded performance reviews online. So if you want a real review from my past clients, I can provide you with contacts. I do not have another full-time job. This is it. So I'm easily reachable when needed. There's nothing worse than finding out that your agent that you already signed a contract with only dabbles in real estate on the side and cannot be reached from 9 to 5. That actually happened to me many years ago before I became an agent. I was so disappointed, but I couldn't get out of the contract. My professional marketing videos and ads with high quality photography use special keywords to target both local buyers and people relocating from other states on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, but mostly YouTube, and many other sites that I know buyers in your price range spend time on. In addition, my email announcements featuring new listings are sent to hundreds of agents and buyers that I maintain relationships with, both local and up north. Here's a list of some questions that I ask clients because it helps me develop the right strategy and marketing plan to maximize the sale. Internet marketing is something that I enjoy doing, and I own and admin lots of Facebook groups as well as my YouTube channel. I also develop web pages and videos for marketing homes for other agents as well. In my personal time, I help advocate for disadvantaged animals and people who are in need of assistance. I live in Palm Beach County with my husband, my son, and my best friend Lola. There she is. Say hi, Lola. That's it for now. So let me know if you got any benefit from this video. Hope I didn't take too much of your time. And if you think we might be a good match to work together and sell in your home, here's my contact information. You know what to do. Bye.